I'm Rick Wade, Senior Vice President of Strategic Alliances and Outreach here at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the world's largest business organization and network. You know, the power of sports and entertainment is undeniable, contributing billions to our economy. And it was Nelson Mandela who said that sport actually has the power to change the world. Today, we are talking about the business and impact of sports and entertainment. And I'm thrilled to be joined by an executive, a seasoned leader in sports and entertainment, who's worked in music, motorsports, volleyball, and is now CEO of USA Track and Field. My good friend, Max Siegel. Max, thanks for joining me today.
Rick, thank you so much for having me on the program. I appreciate it.
You know, let me jump right in. Beneath the title, which is impressive, CEO of USA Track and Field, who is Max Siegel?
Wow. Well, let me just say that I've been very blessed to have an amazing professional journey, but it only happened because people invested in me. And so who I am, I'm first and foremost a father and a husband, someone who deeply cares about people, and someone who really attempts every day to use my platform to have cultural impact and to train the next generation of leaders.
You know, if you look back at your career, which is pretty impressive, early in your career, you're in music, different genres of music, entertainment, and as we think about sort of lessons in leadership, I'm curious about, you know, what lessons did you learn from music and entertainment that were transferable as you moved to motorsport, to NASCAR, and now U.S. Track and Field?
Well, even prior to my first opportunity in the music business, I was a lawyer, and my mentor at the time told me about the importance of being able to have a positive impact on your client and developing substantive skills. So in the entertainment business, it was all about finding talent and the discipline to bring out great performances, building this brand, knowing your market, connecting with the audience, and then from a sustainable business standpoint, being able to monetize all of that intellectual property. And I think those principles are the same whether you're in motorsports, you're in the Olympic sports space, and it is all about fan engagement, about brand building, and running an effective and efficient business.
Yeah, I mean, because the reality is sport and entertainment are sort of integrated. I mean, you can't say sport without entertainment without sport.
Absolutely, and it's funny, it was one of those arguments I got into with my first supervisor as a young lawyer, and then he went to the NBA All-Star game and realized almost every athlete wanted to be an entertainer, and almost every entertainer wanted to be an athlete, but today they're synonymous in my opinion.
Right, and I couldn't be either one of them, just so you know, but I'm honored to be Senior Vice President of the Chamber.
And that's why I went to law school.
But you know, I actually have the honor, in addition of serving on the board of directors of USA Track and Field. We think about the U.S. Chamber and our federation of thousands of state and local chambers, our American Chamber of Commerce partners in 130 countries around the world, representing over 3 million companies. Talk about the structure of U.S. Track and Field, because it's there's some similarities there, but how does the structure work both domestically and globally?
Yeah, not very many people realize that USA Track and Field is one of the most complex organizations in sport. Domestically, we're the national governing body with the oversight of everything running in North America. We have over 50 associations spread throughout the United States, 130,000 members, activities that happen in youth, elite, masters, where we sanction over 7,000 events including New York and Boston Marathon, Chicago Marathon, and then in the ecosystem globally, World Athletics oversees a sport, so we're one of 200 member federations. So when we compete on the global stage, we're competing against 200 countries or more. And so it is really complex, and so we have to balance everything from overseeing the grassroots, really supporting our elite athletes, and I would also say there's a lot of international diplomacy as we really foster our relationships with our federations around the world.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, the reality is our athletes are competing, and not just competing, they're winning. I mean, I saw it firsthand in Paris, had the fortunate pleasure to be there, and in 2024. And now everybody's excited about LA 28. How do we do in Paris? I mean, remind me one more time of the medal count, and what's your thoughts about LA 28?
Listen, we have some of the most amazing athletes in the world. We had one of the most dominant performances in Olympic history, bringing home 34 medals from the Olympic Games. Paris raised the bar. The experience was amazing for the athletes, for the fans, for the federations, and it set a very high bar for Los Angeles. But we're noticing tons of excitement and enthusiasm having the games on home soil in LA 2028. You know, the entertainment capital of the world. They're so excited to host the Olympic Games coming off the momentum of Paris. We're really looking forward to it. So we're already preparing in terms of supporting our coaches, our athletes, working to build that infrastructure and getting our organization ready for what we believe is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase the greatest athletes in the world.
Yeah, well, we're excited to be a part of that here at the Chamber. You know, every CEO is obviously interested in growth. You've led USA Track and Field to unprecedented growth, generating over $600 million in revenue. I'm curious about how'd you do it? I mean, that's pretty impressive in such a short period of time.
Well, to me, there are two elements. I would call it back to the basics and then innovation, right? And so the first thing for us, we have world-class athletes. We set really quantifiable goals to become the #1 federation in the world. Operational efficiency, incremental revenue, you know, sellable assets. But most importantly, I came into the sport from NASCAR, so I really wanted to bring the vision and the sense of being an innovative partner to our corporate sponsors. 70% of the revenue that comes into USA Track and Field to support our athletes and our mission comes from corporate America. So we had to make sure as an organization we added value and found partners who aligned with us on the mission, that we were clear on what their marketing objectives are, that we were committed to delivering on those results, and we followed through and did what we said we were going to do. We brought on 19 new partners. We have long-term deals which give us some sustainability and some financial stability, and it allows us to focus on being innovative in the programming, but really building a world-class commercial team, hiring the best COO in the world to make sure that everybody's held accountable for their conduct and the output, and really at the end of the day, making sure that our partners are really pleased with the return of the investment while we support the greatest athletes in the world.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate the importance of a good, strong team, but you're right about that COO and the other members of the team who I have the pleasure to meet. Other areas of growth, youth sports, is that a growth area that we're thinking about?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I'll have a conversation with a lot of our stakeholders, and they think it's Max Siegel as a part of the leadership team. But I raised 3 kids, 2 Division I athletes through youth sports. So I know how important it is to have a great experience in youth sports, how important it is not only to the development of the young athlete, but for the family who invests time and resources. And so for us, youth sports is the lifeblood. Future fans, future athletes, you know, and so we have a robust youth sports program. Our Junior Olympics is growing tremendously. We have tens of thousands of young people that compete in Junior Olympics in the summer. And so when we're looking at camps and clinics and youth sports opportunities, it's something that we see as a tremendous growth opportunity, and it really is right there at the heart of cultural impact, where you're developing these young people and developing fans right at the very beginning of their excitement and interest.
Yeah. You know, last year in 2024, you were very helpful in facilitating our hosting Team USA here at the U.S. Chamber when they were being recognized here by the president. And what an amazing experience that was. And I would tell you, to meet so many amazing Paralympians was actually just totally overwhelming. Something's happened since then, right? We've integrated now Paralympians into U.S. Track and Field. What has that been like?
Well, you know, Renee Washington, who is our Chief Operating Officer, and I started looking at the sports landscape. And we felt that we could really try to elevate the experience of the Paralympians, bringing them into the fold as one USA Track and Field. And the integration has been pretty seamless. We've been really excited about the support we've been able to give the athletes, the future growth opportunities that are there. I will tell you that the event that was hosted at the Chamber in my 14 years in this job was one of the most anticipated and one of the most celebrated events athletes, 300 athletes here in the chamber, getting to meet executives, over 200 executives, leaving there with, inspiration and relationships for future opportunities. It was just hugely successful. So I want to thank you for hosting that event, and it's something that we still talk about, and it's something that we look forward to our continued collaboration with the Chamber on.
Absolutely. One other area where technology, you think about the impact of technology in our lives, the way we work, live, and play, and even compete. How are you seeing technology and AI, that impact in track and field and sports in general?
Yeah, it is really at the core of our innovation. Technology, from AI to all advances of technology in our sports science, sports medicine, high performance area, has been really critical in giving our coaches and athletes feedback, preventing injuries, developing training programs. But we've also used it in terms of understanding who our consumer base is, how to be better at fan engagement, how to scale programs. So we're seeing technology really impact our business in a very positive way. And frankly, it's increased our productivity and our efficiency in many areas of our business. So we're excited about it. We're excited about the application. We're engaged in a number of different areas. Would love to partner and collaborate with companies in the tech space that bring their expertise and use some of those learnings as we develop programs and support our athletes.
Yeah. In addition to tech, I mean, obviously, Chamber, we represent, again, some 3 million companies of every industry, sector, size, region of the country. Are there other areas? I mean, we think about health and pharmaceutical, I mean, wellness. Are there other sectors? What more can we do as America's business community, not only celebrate track and field and sport, but to do more, to embrace and advance it?
Yeah, I think that that is a really great question, because there are a number of opportunities to engage with, corporate America. One is, beyond the financial investment, bringing that expertise in developing brands and promoting and elevating the sport is really important. We look at things, we move 250 people to the Olympic Games, or the World Championships. We'll have 250 people in Tokyo, Japan, and we have to logistically move their poles and the equipment and moving around. Logistics company, travel categories, general corporate America. So when we look at how we can engage with corporate America, every one of those verticals that has an impact on our sport, we welcome the opportunity to do that. But even more importantly than that, for me, in terms of legacy, is really trying to figure out ways to get our athletes more engaged.
Yeah. Which, hey, listen, I've had a chance to meet so many athletes, not just in track and field, but across many sports. And I'm truly a believer that they are more than athletes, as the saying goes. Their skills are transferable to businesses and companies. Some are entrepreneurs. And you touched on this earlier. They represent actually America around the world and some of our best global ambassadors. So I think there's more alignment that we can do with the private sector, and we intend and want to do more with U.S. track and field and sport to help create ladders of success and opportunity for these amazing athletes.
Yeah, for us, we can tell you firsthand, we have 5 Olympians on staff, and we wanted to take a leadership role to basically engage with athletes while they're on the field of play, to try to start to prepare them to transition into professional life. And all of those traits and characteristics that you just mentioned have proven to us that they're capable and ready for leadership. We've structured programs to accelerate their deficiency in corporate experience by rotating them around. They're fast learners, impact on the organization. If there were just more opportunities across corporate America for internships, mentorship opportunities, and even paid positions when they get done competing, I think corporations would really enjoy the benefit of having athletes in their organization.
Yeah. You mentioned the word legacy. I'll end here. You've had an extraordinary career. I'm gonna say that Max Siegel is a GOAT COO. But your life story is fascinating. You're a book of many chapters. I'm just curious, what does the next chapter look like for Max Siegel?
Well, I think, my first class that I went to in college was Psychology of the Aging. They said, live your life in the way you want your obituary to read. And you had to write your own obituary. So doing that at like 18 or 19 years old is really thought-provoking. And right now for me, being present for my family and my kids as they start to enter into the world of corporate America and law, it just is a reminder for me that I want to go deeper in terms of impact, continue to lead USA Track and Field to the highest of heights, and really develop platforms and opportunities that are way bigger than I could ever be, that people benefit from years to come. And I'm especially focused on making sure that people who historically have not had access or exposure to opportunities are given that opportunity to grow and thrive and just change the world that we live in.
Yeah. Listen, Max, CEO of USA Track and Field, it's been a pleasure talking with you today about the business impact of sports and entertainment. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.